And by the way, while we're on it, it was always the plan from the great legal experts of this country and even the world, everybody, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, they wanted to get abortion out of the federal government. You know that. They've been trying to do it for 50 years. Then about 10 years ago, people lost their way, started talking about how many months they have, how many months are we allowed, how many weeks are we allowed, where does it take place, how does it take place, who are the doctors. They started getting into things that had nothing to do with the original discussion on Roe v. Wade. They forgot the idea to take abortion out of the federal government. That was the idea, and to move it into the states and let the states make the decision, let the people decide. After 50 years, we were able to do that, and now you're seeing it done. Some people will be happy. Some people will be okay. Some people won't be quite as happy. Some will be thrilled. Some of the decisions, they vary quite a bit. Some are in conservative states, and they're more liberal than they would have liked to see them. Some are in liberal areas, and they're more conservative than they would have liked to have seen them. And some people are thrilled at the concept of exactly because everybody basically wanted to get it out. It's wrong to be in the federal government. They wanted to get it out. The states now decide on abortion, and you go to the states, and the states come out, and they decide, which is what everybody wanted for over 50 years, and we got it done. This is different. Remember, from the standpoint of what's happening, nobody wants to see abortion in the 8th month or the 9th month, or nobody wants to see execution after birth. You have a situation where Democrats, in many cases, will allow it, execution after birth, the 7th, 8th, 9th month, and after birth, execution. And if you remember, the governor of Virginia said it. He said, we talk with the mother along with the doctor. She has the baby. We put the baby aside, and we decide what to do with the baby, meaning, do we execute the baby? This is called radical politics. This is something, they are far more radical. But it's not even a question of that. It's a question that we have to take care of the situation. Getting it back to the states was something that was very important to everyone. We had to take the radicalism out from the Democrats, because when you can do execution or killing at a point in the life cycle, it just can't be allowed, or we're not going to allow it. But now states are deciding, and some people are very happy because it's a liberal policy, and it is. It's a liberal policy, or it's a very conservative policy, but we brought it back to those states where everybody's been fighting to have it for 53 years, and it's taken a lot of courage and a lot of oomph and a lot of controversy out. A lot of controversy has now been taken out. You've seen what's taken place over the last period of a couple of months. People are getting together and they're deciding within their own states. And remember this, as a politician, you have to have heart. You have to have what your heart determines, and you have to fight for what's in your heart and what's the right thing to do. But remember, you also have to get elected. Getting elected is also important, not only on this issue, but on taxes and military and everything else. You have to get elected, because if you don't get elected, it goes back to the federal government, perhaps, or you have many other things that can go wrong. So go with your heart, do what's right. Everybody wanted this to be done. Every legal scholar wanted this to be done. Most Democrats wanted it. Liberals wanted it. This was a while ago. Then they changed their mind. They viewed it as a political deal. A lot of bad things will happen beyond the abortion issue if you don't win elections with your taxes and everything else. So it's been very interesting. And again, some states have been right where they wanted to be. Other states have gone more liberal than they wanted, and some have gone more conservative, but it's all working out, and the votes are coming up now in certain cases, and it's all starting to work out, and it's going to ultimately bring our country together. It gets the vote down to the people. We did something that took courage. We did something that everybody wanted to see, but now I say, it's up to the states, and I want to thank the Supreme Court justices for having the courage, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, John Roberts, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, for the wisdom and the courage to do this. This took a great deal of courage and a great deal of wisdom to do this, and all we want to do is we have to get our country back together. It takes a very long fought-over issue, an issue that was never going to be resolved, according to many. It brings it back to the states where every legal scholar and where most people wanted to see it, and it's working out. So I just want to thank the Supreme Court for the wisdom and for the courage, and thank you very much. From the very first day that we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden, I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. I think we can do that. It's not easy. Not easy with what they're giving us, I will tell you. But the one thing that has been interesting about this 4 years, it shows how bad their policies are. It shows that their policies don't work. And one of the reasons we are more popular than we were 4 years ago, we were very popular, but more popular is because they're so bad. They're so incompetent. They're so evil. They're so corrupt. And it makes us look that much better. Before I